I bet you can relate to this. You've had projects that you've gotten rid of that you've regretted. But I bet you're like me and you've never had a project you kept that you wish you would have gotten rid of. I can't think of one, can you? Let's look at one right now. I gave up on that project after I had it tubbed. I just lost interest. I was burned out on it. It sat for a couple of years and I didn't touch it. It was in a buddy's shop, tucked in the corner, forgotten about. And I just finally said, forget it. And I put it up for sale for $2,500 as it was, tubbed, narrowed, 8 3/4 rear end in it, all the parts that I had for the car minus the motor and the transmission. Put it up for sale and said, it's gone. I'm done with it. Had a lot of bites on it. Nobody bought it. I had one guy, friend of mine locally, was really interested in it, but it was a little more of a project than he felt he was willing to take on. And it just sat. I even took pictures of it to a swap meet and put it up for sale there, and it generated a lot of buzz, but nobody bid on it. It came to a point where I had to do something with it, or I might as well junk it. And I decided, I guess I'm going to have to take it further along and get it a little bit more attractive to sell it so I can get rid of it. And so I did. I started working on it, and I started putting the roll cage in it, and I started putting quarter panels on it, and lo and behold, something really strange happened in the process. I actually got interested in the project. In fact, before I put the quarters on it, and I think even before I put the roll cage on it, yeah, I know for sure, I threw a motor in it. It was the first 360 that I had built out of spare parts I had kicking around, put the tunnel ram on it with the dual quads, all the stuff that I had for the car, except for the 340 that I intended to put in it. I didn't put that together. This was a running 360 with just parts off the shelf, and put that car together and took it out and ripped it around the parking lot at the factory that I was an engineer at back in those days, and found out that, hey, this car is kind of fun. So I left that motor in it and then took it back to my buddies again. I had had it home in my garage for some of that. Took it back to my buddies again and did the cage work, finished the framework, the floor pans, hung the quarter panels on it, got it in primer, and then shipped it off to a buddy of mine to do the final paint. I didn't paint that car. I did a lot of the prep work, but I didn't paint it. I actually swapped him. Again, I was burned out on it. I swapped him. I built a motor for him. He sprayed the car for me. And yeah, it turned out decent. I wished I had done it myself. It would have turned out a little bit better, but it's the way it goes when you're trading stuff. It's respectable, but could have been better. Sometimes we get burned out. I know you do. I know I do. And we need to make decisions, and sometimes we're not making rational decisions. When I think back on that, I could have sold that car for a couple $1,000s. That would have been a very, very unwise choice. It is a GTS, and yes, even though it was cut up when I got it, it wasn't tubbed, but it had been cut up as a drag car. And of course, I cut it up even more and tubbed it and narrowed it. It still has value because it is a 68 Dodge Dart GTS 340 automatic. It was UU1 blue with a white transverse stripe and a white interior. It has a 4-speed pedal assembly in it. I don't remember right offhand if it was originally a 4-speed car or not, but there's value in that car, even though it's done the way it is, because it is a GTS. They're fairly rare cars. I'm really glad I didn't get rid of it, even though at the time it probably would have been a big relief. Shared it before. This is the image that I did digitally of what I envisioned the car to look like with a 440 with a 671 blower. This was actually a 69 that I, through photo paint, I changed over to a GTS. This was the motor on the stand when I built it in my house garage, and then this was when I brought the car home and had in my garage before the quarter panels were on it. You can see the motor is in it here. There's a better shot with the motor in it. There was no doors on it, no cage in it, but it was running and driving at this point before we took it the rest of the way to make it what it actually is, similar to that today. I keep those pictures on my paint cupboard for a reason. To keep me motivated to remember, don't lose sight of the vision. Don't give up midstream. Keep after it. Take a little bites, little bites, little bites, and eventually you will get it done. My goal and my desire here at MKS, not only through the projects, but through our Talk About It Tuesdays, is to be the cheerleader cheering you on to keep after your projects. Now, don't put me in the little cheerleading outfit. It would look hideous. Don't do that. But the fact is, we all need reality checks and we all need reminders. And here's a fact, Jack. I don't know how many cars I've done for myself to various levels. I've had well over 100 collector cars, done a lot of them, some of them a little, some of them a lot as far as in process. But here's what I know. I cannot think of one car that I've ever had that I regretted finishing, but I can think of a lot of cars that I got rid of that I didn't finish. Let that be a reality check for you, because I would bet your experience is exactly the same. So here's your assignment down there in the comments. Talk about the ones that you let get away that you regret. Matter of fact, let's make that another Talk About It Tuesday subject, because we've talked about that before, but it's been a while, and I think it's worth circling back around to. Don't give up. Do what you need to do to get yourself remotivated. Watch some YouTube videos, read some hot rod magazines, look at some parts catalogs, go to some swap meets, go to some car shows, whatever you need to do to get yourself remotivated. In fact, if your car's not far enough along yet, you got a buddy who's got a car, let him take you out and do some burnouts in it. Or even better, if he's a really good buddy, ask and you can take it out for a couple of burnouts, because I have buddies that are that good that let me do that with their cars. And it's always remotivating and re-energizing to get my focus back on my own projects. I thought this was just an absolutely great Talk About It Tuesday subject. I thought it was something we could all relate to. I know you can. I know you can, because you've given up or been ready to give up on projects. And I bet many of you have been like me, where you gave up on it and you're glad you didn't get rid of it. Again, I can't think of one that I got rid of. I can't think of one that I kept that I wish I would have gotten rid of, but I can think of a lot of them that I've gotten rid of I wish I would have kept. All right, let's hear from you down there in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate that. There is Schultz Sign Company down there if you want our merchandise. We'll go to Etsy, over to the Schultz Sign Company store. Search in Schultz Sign Company for MKS. You'll find our merchandise. We have channel memberships. You get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff here on the channel for as little as $5 a month. You have access, and then there are tiers upwards from there with more and more bonuses for you. That'll do it. Shoot me an email if you want. My email address is down there. If you got stuff you want to send to the channel, the email address is down there. Shoot me a message and we'll get you the information that you need. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and we will catch you on the next one. And don't forget, it's important.